Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. It is Tuesday night, November 16th, 2021, and an absolute stunner in the world of college hoops yesterday as Missouri was annihilated 80-66 by UMKC, a program that came into yesterday on an 18-game losing streak against teams from the six high major conferences. They got their butts kicked by Minnesota by 15 points. They got slaughtered by Iowa by 32 points, ranked 223rd in D1 basketball. No one expected the Tigers to compete in the SEC this year, but they should have at least had the talent to steamroll a small school like Kansas City. Going to be a long year of growing pains for that program. Not a lot going on in terms of breaking headlines today, but we do, as of this recording, have a key match going on in the World Cup qualifiers as the U.S. is taking on Jamaica. The U.S. leads North and Central America and the Caribbean with 14 points. They're ahead of Mexico on goal difference, followed by Canada with 13 and Panama with 11. The top three countries qualify for the World Cup. The game is currently tied 1-1 at the 26-minute mark. We will keep an eye on that. But we've got MACtion to cover tonight. We've got college hoops, NHL, and the NBA. Let's get right to it, and we're going to start with college football. Toledo and Ohio, two teams that have been perennial favorites in their respective MAC divisions pretty much for a long time running now, just struggling to salvage their seasons right now. Toledo is 5-5, Ohio is 3-7, but Ohio could conceivably make it to the MAC title game with a little help from Kent State and Miami of Ohio if they do win out. They have been surging in recent weeks. If they go 6-7 with a really good streak to end the year, I'm sure they're going to get a bowl game. Toledo's offense hasn't been the problem this season, and they have certainly gotten better as the season's gone on. They're averaging 32.6 points a game off of 424 yards of offense. That's pretty good. Their defense really only had the one clunker of a game against Eastern Michigan a couple of weeks ago. For the most part, they've been pretty stout. Ohio's a run-first team. We've seen it all season. Toledo's run defense is not as good as its secondary, but it's mid-tier for college football. It should be able to at least bottle up the Bobcats somewhat and slow them down a bit. Ohio, like we said, has been surging the past couple of weeks with tight wins against Miami and Eastern Michigan. But the issue for them all season has been defense. They run that 4-2-5 scheme, which is great for preventing the big, explosive plays, but it puts virtually no pressure on the quarterback. Gives the opponents a ton of scoring opportunities. Small wonder, therefore, that the Bobcats' defense is 101st in the nation in points allowed with 30.8. On paper, Toledo is just a better team at every aspect of the game. They should have no trouble putting up a total in the low 30s or more. Ohio's offense is averaging only 23 points a game this season with all the running they do. I feel pretty confident laying a touchdown with Toledo in this spot tonight. So over to college hoops. And there's a couple of big games happening tonight. It's a full slate, and one of them is this heated intrastate rivalry between Creighton and Nebraska. Been a huge deal for the last decade. Creighton's been dominating it, but Nebraska is the solid favorite in this year's go-round for a very good reason, and that reason is freshman Bryce McGowens, who is the highest recruit in school history for Nebraska. McGowens just won Big Ten Freshman of the Week. In his first two games, he scored 25 and 29 points, respectively. The Creighton roster is completely depleted from graduations. They're fielding a whole lot of new talent that just has not found a way to get an offensive groove going yet. Creighton's shooting just 18.2% from 3 points and 65% for free throws. These guys just looked lost out there against Kennesaw State, frankly, and Nebraska is certainly a step up in competition from that. The game is at Nebraska. Those fans are going to be absolutely raucous. I'm taking the Cornhuskers here, minus 3.5 points. So over to Hofstra and Iona. Hofstra has been without the star guard, Jalen Ray, to start off the season, but he is slated to start tonight, which is really big news for Hofstra. He was the team's huge star last year, took 29.3% of Hofstra's shots, and he was good for just shy of 20 points a game. He's an enormous part of their offense. Iona is 2-0, but it's not for their defense's lack of trying to give games away. Iona allowed Appalachian State and Harvard to shoot 55.4% combined from inside the arc, and Harvard took them to overtime as a 10-point underdog. Anytime your defense gives up to 78 points to freaking Harvard in regulation, that's a serious problem. This game's likely to be a track meet with both teams more or less scoring at will. I like the over 145.5 points tonight between Hofstra and Iona. So moving over to the NHL, and the Flames and the Flyers, both of these teams started off incredibly hot and then saw both of their offenses go to sleep, and neither shows any signs of waking up. The under has cashed in 3 out of the Flames' last 4 games and in 8 of the Flyers' last 10. The Flyers, despite the 5-2 loss to Dallas on the road on a back-to-back, has completely flipped the script on its season and is now playing incredibly tight defense, averaging the 5th fewest goals per game allowed in the NHL. The Flames, they're even better at 2nd fewest. Jacob Markstrom's back in goal for the Flames tonight, facing Carter Hart on the other side. Both men have save percentages above .930. All signs are pointing to a nice, tight game with a low total tonight. Take the under 5.5 goals here. So then, last but not least, over to the NBA, the Nets and the Warriors. Absolutely no one in any walk of life expected the Warriors to open the season 11-2. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins all making great contributions on offense. Draymond Green getting it done with rebounds, assists, and blocks. But possibly most importantly is the production they're getting from their bench. Nearly 33 points a game off the bench. All combining to make the number one offense in basketball and best point differential in the league by a country mile. They're focused and they are locked in defensively. Now the Nets are 10-4. We know the talent level of this team, but we've said it all season long. Their scoring just is not the same without Kyrie Irving. It's a pedestrian 108 points a game. They've had to get it done on defense as well, and they most certainly have. Both these teams are incredible on defense, actually. They average a combined 204 points a game allowed between them, as opposed to a combined 223 points between them on offense. So if you assume talent level is, marginally about the same, split the difference for the equal level of talent there between these teams, and that's a total of 213.5. So why on earth is the total for this game 222.5? Particularly this year when unders are hitting like crazy. I could see one of these two teams' defenses folding their tent or having a bad night, but both of them in this spot with this much pride on the line? Hell no. Give me the under 222.5 tonight. That is my 5th and final play for the night. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have a great Tuesday night, and we will see you tomorrow.